We have not seen this version of Von Miller in a Buffalo Bills uniform and why it's going to pay dividends for this upcoming season. Another clip of Von Miller. Just look at the spin move. Another highlight. Getting to Tua. Look how quick it is. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. He's there. Tua has to get the ball out. And Baldinger breaks down this clip of Von Miller saying how to close out a game. Von Miller coming in clutch in downs and distances, third and longs, important, crucial moments of the game here. Look at how wide Von Miller gets initially, trusting his knee, trusting his injury. Look at this stretch with his one arm with the drive back. This is how you close out a game, collapsing the pocket on Kyler Murray. The first thing that makes Von Miller such a dangerous threat is his get off the football. And you could see he's almost in motion before the ball is snapped. Like the ball is snapped and just look at him already penetrating, getting his hands on the offensive lineman, shedding the tackle there and getting to Kyler Murray. And look at this again. As soon as the ball is snapped, Von Miller here already breaking towards the football. Hall of Fame, Von Miller getting things done. Look at the swing move, the confidence he has in that leg. And this is going back to when we first signed Von Miller. Von Miller was here with the Buffalo Bills, and there was questions on how we were going to utilize him, whether he was going to be on the left side, on the right side, whether we were going to utilize him in a rotation on this defensive line that we all know Sean McDermott does, whether he was going to have a higher snap count. And now it was unfortunate because I think Von Miller was still getting used to us. He was still getting used to Sean McDermott ways, but he was also getting used to the players that he was surrounded with, to include Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, who also went out with an injury. So we lost that continuity aspect there, having Von Miller in year one. And then in year two, he sustains that injury and really isn't himself, doesn't come back until way later in the season, and really was never himself. So this further reiterates the point that Von Miller has never been this good in a Buffalo Bills uniform since he has come to Buffalo. And why I believe that is going to pay huge, big-time dividends for the Buffalo Bills, because the attention is going to be brought to Von Miller, and it's going to open up one-on-ones for other players like Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, A.J. Epinesa, and many others. Plus, you consider the fact that the Buffalo Bills defense right now is awfully depleted, with our secondary really diving into the depth before the season even started, losing Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Trey White, not having Matt Milano. Bills lose Terrell Bernard and Taron Johnson. We are digging in the depth of this Buffalo Bills team.
If you just took Taron and you took obviously Milano, but now Terrell, like that second level of their defense, you're going to have to prove to me that you can handle a lot to look at. Like you're going to have to prove to me that you can handle a different personnel, and I'm going to set a formation, then I'm going to shift a guy, and then I'm going to motion a guy, and you're going to have to prove to me that you can handle all that you have to look at. You got to get into the right communication of who's got to be where and leverage. I want to see if you can handle different action post snap. Like I would stress that unit a ton, and maybe it doesn't equal, big throws down the field, but I would make that group constantly think and constantly communicate with all those different looks.
Dan Orlovsky said it right on One Bills Drive that opposing teams are going to really try to have a lot of motion. They're going to try to confuse these players on the Buffalo Bills defense that don't have a lot of experience. So when we have a defensive line like Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, getting the pressure on opposing quarterbacks and opposing teams makes things tremendously easier for the back end of the defense, especially if a player is confused, maybe they are out of position, but someone like Von Miller who gets to the quarterback, and all his sacks have been around 2.5 seconds to the quarterback, which is the fastest time recorded by a defensive end since 2020. Just goes to show you Von Miller is truly back. What he is presenting for this Buffalo Bills team, what he's presenting for this Buffalo Bills defense, an elite defensive line was what I anticipated and what the Buffalo Bills defense was really going to lean on for this upcoming year. And it's going to enable guys like Dorian Williams, Cam Lewis, Jamarcus Ingram, Balin Spector, these guys, even Damar Hamlin. It's going to give them these memorable moments on the football field to progress on a week-to-week basis All these players are going to be much better versions of themselves come week 17, come our playoff run, come our Super Bowl run at the end of this season. On this play, we're going to see Von Miller do a great job getting to the quarterback, using his hands. Look at the reach there, get around, and getting to the quarterback for a sack against the Dolphins. Look how fast this was. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and he's there. I mean, that is absolutely insane for opposing quarterbacks to deal with, and why he is ultimately helping the back end. Even if a player was out of position, this gives the quarterback absolutely zero time to get the ball off, even if a wide receiver is wide open. Guys, to me, Von Miller is clearly back. The stats do not lie. After not having a single sack last year, now has multiple sacks in 2024. And again, going back to when we first brought in Von Miller, we were still adjusting to him. He was still adjusting to us, still having to buy a house in the area, still having to get used to his teammates, not really understanding how we do things. And I think Von Miller right now in this moment is the best he's ever been in a Buffalo Bills jersey. And I think this is truly going to help out our team for the rest of the season. Clearly it already has. And you really look at it, this Buffalo Bills defense hasn't missed a beat from last year. Going into the year, losing Trey White, losing Jordan Poyer, losing Micah Hyde, not having all the players that we've had in the past, even Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, Leonard Floyd we had to move away from too because of free agency. And the Bills are already better than what we were last year at this point defensively. And I truly believe it is strictly because of this defensive line. Players like Von Miller progressing and actually being the better version of himself here in 2024, or at least in a Bills uniform. Guys like Greg Rousseau who have developed themselves year after year. And Greg Rousseau is setting the league on fire. Even Per Von Miller says that he is a top 5 defensive end in this league. Guys like Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, finally matching and pairing together on the interior of this defensive line. And how could you forget? We have other players like AJ Epinesa, Smoot, and some other guys that are going to be very hungry like Javon Solomon. I appreciate you guys all so much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe for future content. That's really going to signal to me to keep making videos just like this. Also, check the links down below in the description. SeatGeek, you could use promo code BNC to receive $20 off any sort of event in your area, whether it's an NFL game, a baseball game, a concert. You can get $20 off using promo code BNC. Also, the BNC chicken wing merch down below, free shipping, sizes small all the way up to 5XL. Make excellent gifts. We've had around 50 orders, all 5-star reviews. There's red, blue, gray, Zumba's colors. So check that out. Appreciate you guys all so much, truly from the bottom of my heart. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.